Was it as good for you as it was for me? Hey, who did it really feel that good that stocks are on track for the best quarter in a decade? Did it feel that good? Unbelievable. Hey everybody, Courtney Smith here for our June 22nd Wall Street winners. Coming at you since 1995 is when I actually started this thing. All right, and this thing of course has been going on forever. S&P. All right. So what we have here is you'll notice that we had, as I just mentioned, a tremendous quarter here, right? Where the market just took off and we rallied a huge amount, like 35% in the last few months. But look at the price action over the last 3 weeks. Not that great. We had the gap down about a week and a half ago, and we haven't been able to get above that gap in all this time. You know, I'm kind of a nervous investor, and that makes me nervous. Why aren't we making new highs? Now, and Friday's action was not that great. You know, particularly late in the day, we sold off pretty hard. But the purple predictor remains pretty darn bullish, even though it didn't make a new high either. So I sort of feel like we're in the middle of something. We're in the middle of something. It's not telling me that we've got the big bear market coming that I'm looking for later again this year. But we have to be alert to that possibility. But on the other hand, it was down a bit on heavy volume on Friday. That's not good. But on the other hand, we're not making new highs, which we should. We should be breaking above those gaps if this is really a bull market. So we're kind of in betwixt and between here. The Dow Jones buying pressure, selling pressure, basically equal. But the Nasdaq, of course, is where the strength is. And we had broken to new all-time highs a couple of weeks ago. We gapped down, but then we took right back off again. We haven't made a new high here, but we're awfully close. And look at the purple predictor is insanely bullish on the Nasdaq. So we've still got this bifurcated market that I talked about last week. If you're in technology stocks, it's a bull market. If you're in anything else, really, who cares? All right, seasonality, we're in a neutral period in the stock market, and that'll go until September 30th. But utilities, we're ranking it as neutral, but we are in a bullish seasonal period. So we want to be trying to get long utilities here. Purple predictor should perk up, so utilities are not that great either right now. We're in a period where it'll be a little bit weak here this week, and then later as we move into July, the month-end seasonality, there's a positivity around month ends in prices, and then we also have the 4th of July, and the market usually rallies going into holidays. So we should be dipping a little bit here, but then that 4th of July week should be a strong week for us. That kind of tells us that maybe the market's just going to stay in a little bit of a trading range here for a while. Down a little bit this week, up a little bit next week. Yield curve, once again, it's like the Fed is targeting this level because it's awfully stable, more stable than it usually is. Asset allocation came down quite a bit a week ago, but bounced back up a little bit. We got a little bit more money into the market out of the bond market. Stock market risk indicator, though, they're saying this is very interesting to me because we just talked about how the Nasdaq was outperforming the S&P and the Dow. And usually the Nasdaq is composed of riskier stocks. Yet this chart is saying that they're moving money out of risky stocks and into non-risky stocks. So they're moving them out of Tiffany's and putting them into Kellogg's. Basically, global stocks are running in parallel with the S&P. Bonds, chop, chop, chop. Bond key factors, same as last week. I think that yield should go up a little bit. Now, what that means is bonds should drift lower. But I don't really, who cares? Bonds are going nowhere right now, so we don't want to really trade them at all. Dollar, a little bit of strength. Usually when the dollar's strong, the stock market's strong. Gold finally showed a little bit of life here. I've got a ton of gold stocks I want to buy, But really, we're trading at the same price we were near the beginning of April, middle of April. So this is not a bull market. It's a giant consolidation. I think it's going to be broken to the upside. And when it does break to the upside, I'll be there with my finger on the trigger. There are many, many, many cheap gold stocks out there that I really want to buy. Our indicators, kind of a mixed bag. So once again, don't want to really get involved in gold right now. We can sit on the sidelines, but as I say, I'm getting more bullish every day. Crude oil, we got the dip that I looked for last week, but there we are. We're back at $40 again. I think that big gap from March is going to hold it. But the market's just obsessed with the idea that we're continuing to keep supply low and demand is slowly increasing around the world. So I think it's going to be difficult to get much higher than this, maybe 42, 43, but I think we got to consolidate in here for a while and let the fundamentals catch up with the price action. Bitcoin did exactly what I told you it would do over the last several weeks. It's drifting lower. Purple predictor is generally negative. And so look for Bitcoin to really just consolidate in this area. Don't want to be long, don't want to be short. It's boring. It's the same price it was months ago. So let's just stand aside. All right, freebies, thank you very much for coming here. We'll keep you on the straight and narrow so you can make money in the markets. But of course, the cool kids actually subscribe. All right, fully paid up members, hang on just 1 second.